Your mission, Cherry, should you choose to accept it, is to bring chaos to planet Flipside on Monday nights. As always, should you or any part of the bomb pop force be caught or killed, the head of Ixie Squad will disavow any knowledge of your actions. This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
What's up, fuckers? Y'all, there's times I can't tell if I'm just in a bad mood or if everything around me is just really fucking annoying.
Tacos are more important than pumpkin spice. Oh yeah, I said what I said.
You can fuck off. And when you get there, you can fuck off from there too. Then fuck off some more. Just keep fucking off. And when you get back here, go fuck off some more. And then fuck off again. I judge those motherfuckers on if they're an asshole or not. What up, fuckers? How are you guys doing tonight? What's new? What's poppin'? What's going on? Hi, guys. Hi, Myrtle. Hi, Dane. Hey, hubby. I know Jellybean did message me that she will be on. She'll be on later. Hey, Mel. Hey, Planet Flipside. Hi, Brittany. She is on her way. She is running late. That's perfectly okay. Tonight we are going to discuss, hi, Polite. We're going to discuss what it is like to be the spouse of a truck driver. And obviously I've been picking subjects that are very near and dear to me. Hi, Mike. Because nobody's leaving comments to tell me what to talk about. So I'm just going to keep picking subjects until I run out of them. So that's just how that's going to work. But I do have a couple of things that I printed out. One of which is a poem that was written by a trucker spouse and something that I wrote when Justin decided to go back on the road after we first got together. So everybody's saying hi to each other. I love it. Also, don't forget to hit the like button, guys. You left a comment. I haven't caught it yet. I checked last night. I haven't checked today, so it may not have shown up yet. Let me read this first thing, and it'll kind of give you... let me read these, go through these first, and then we'll start talking about what it's like on our side as spouses. And that's not just including wives, girlfriends. That also includes husbands and boyfriends as well. Because there are female truckers out there now, guys, and that is absolutely amazing. This is actually called Just a Little Glimpse into My World, a truck driver's wife. People often ask me, how do you get through? You live your life alone, and it's only you. That is where they're wrong. I don't live my life alone. I just live a lot of it by the ringing of a telephone. I know how to handle things that most people couldn't. I even have to handle things my husband thinks I shouldn't. No, I don't live in a mansion, but I have everything. I have a wonderful family and a husband who thinks I'm his queen. Do I miss him while he's out? Every second I'm awake. There are nights I go to bed thinking, how much more can I take? I often go in circles trying to handle things each day, but being a truck driver's wife, that's the price I have to pay. I have kids to raise and paperwork to go through. Then he calls me and tells me the diesel prices are going up again too. He might have to take an extra load to make up the difference in pay. So he might just not make it home for just another day. So tell me, how many men would sacrifice their life? That is why I am proud to be a trucker's wife. And the author is unknown on that one. That speaks volumes to me, guys, for the simple fact of I can relate. Justin isn't home every night. We're lucky enough to have him home once a week on his 34-hour break because the company that he works for is local. So there's a lot of stuff that I have to do that sometimes he tells me I shouldn't have to do. There's a lot of things that I have to do because he's not here to do them. And it breaks the stereotype of what a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home wife is supposed to do. We'll get a little bit more into that in a minute. Let me get through the second one. And this is the one that I wrote. It's kind of a big thing for me. So don't mind me if I get emotional. It's always the nights that show us how strong we are, as our spouses lay in their trucks asleep and we're awake wondering if they're okay. Did they eat today? Did they shower? Did they get to take their meds? And are we what they thought of before they fell asleep? It's the nights when our children are asleep and our truckers are away that we want to reach in our chest and tear out our own hearts. It's the nights that show us we have to be strong for our spouses, for our families, and for ourselves, even when we are at our weakest. This is true of any driver's spouse I've ever met and ever will meet. Thank you all for being so strong for your drivers, your children, and your families. And even when you think you're weak, thank you for being strong for yourself. This life is the most selfless life I've ever come across. Thank you all for being strong for our family bond. Thank you all for all of the supportive words and prayers. And thank you for being here and allowing my little trucking family in your heart. Never forget, once a trucker spouse, always a trucker family. No matter where you stand in that relationship, you're always family to me. With all the love and prayers for every one of you and yours, sleep well, rest well, and know that your sacrifice does not go unnoticed. We are the backbone of this country, and I thank every one of you from the bottom of my heart. And it's true. We're the ones at home taking care of all the shit while our drivers are out doing what they need to do to support their families. They're the ones that are out doing what they need to do to help support their country and help get whatever it is you want and or need to the stores so that you can go get it or deliver it to wherever it needs to be, whether it's a hospital or a store or wherever, because we are the ones out there doing it. They're out there doing what they need to do so we can do what we need to do. I have been a plumber. I have been a mechanic. I have been a handy person. I have been the lawn care specialist. I have been the cook. I have been the maid. I have been everything in this house while Justin is out doing what he needs to do. And I tell him on a regular basis that I do appreciate what he does, because he has he's in the top 10 for most dangerous jobs in the world. And so is Dane as well. For those who don't know, that Dane is a driver as well. It gets rough because we're stereotyped at home. We very well are, that we're nothing but lazy pieces of shit and that we don't do anything. And the thing is show me a moment in my day where I'm not doing something that needs to be done. Whether it's working on my small business, whether it's helping my kid with something, whether it's trying to figure out something for my driver that he can't figure out because he can't look at his phone while he's driving. I am on call 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I have rescheduled holidays. I have rescheduled birthdays. I have rescheduled anniversaries. And our families get pissed off at us, and so do our friends, because we're sitting here doing what we need to do, and they don't understand that we can't make every event because we can't just schedule shit at the drop of a fucking dime. We can't just say, oh yeah, we'll be there. We have to literally schedule out the time to make sure that we're there so that you can feel the appreciation that we have for you, and we can, we can feel the appreciation that you have for us. And it's not an easy life. Yes, I have a lot that I do that keeps my time, so I don't go batshit crazy. Because if I didn't, I would go batshit crazy. Like, legitimately. I'm lucky enough to be able to stay home because most trucking families have to have more than one income, especially if you're an owner-operator, because diesel prices are extremely expensive. That comes out of your pocket. That's why a lot of trucker wives end up going out and finding other jobs, and then if the children at home are small, then you have to worry about paying for daycare and paying for this and paying for that. And most of us can't just look to state assistance for childcare because they're like, oh, so your spouse is an owner-operator, which means they own their business, so they have the potential of making up to X amount of dollars. Therefore, you can afford to pay full price for childcare. When you can't, and that's why you went to go look for assistance in the first place. It's a double-edged sword, but it also takes a very specific kind of person to be a trucker spouse. You have to have understanding. You have to have communication. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And And we hear a lot of bullshit about our truckers, and it pisses us off just as much as it pisses them off, because we know what they go through, because we hear about it all the time. Hi, Shadow. Hey, Trish. So we hear about it through them. And yeah, I'm lucky enough to be able to get on the truck if the kid is in school, or if, for whatever circumstances I can get on for the day. Yeah, I jump on for the day and I go out there and I help my driver do everything that he does minus drive that truck. I get out there and I help him secure loads. I get out there. I can't throw the straps. I'm too short. But he throws them. I secure them. I make sure that he checks them so that, shit doesn't fall off a trailer and then we have to pay for it because we don't have the money to do that. So I get out there. The only other thing is I won't, there's a sound that boomers make when you secure them. I'll wrap a bungee around a boomer, but I will not secure the motherfucker. It scares the shit out of me. But I get out there and I help him, and you can ask him. I get out there and I physically exhaust myself every time I go out there. It literally takes me days to recover from this, but I still push myself. I'm the one here when he gets home. I'm the one, if I've got the lists ready for what we need from the store. And when he comes home, he doesn't want to go straight to the store. He wants to sit down. He's just worked 70 plus hours a week. But I'm like, we got to get this shit done so you can sit down. Like, legitimately, as soon as he gets home, if it's early enough, I'm like, I've got the list ready for the store. I know what we need. This is the stores we're going to. It's go, 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 because we have very limited time on how long it is going to take us for them to be home, first of all, because they only have technically 34 hours on their breaks. Okay. So in 34 hours, from the time he signs off of his e-log until 34 hours later, I have to go get stuff for the house. We have to go get stuff for the truck. We have to make sure that his laundry and everything that he needs prepared for the next week, which includes food, other supplies, whatever he needs. We need to make sure that all of that stuff is done. And I'm the one that will sit there and let him sleep. And I'll get all of this shit done while he's sleeping, if that's how much time it takes. Now, granted, typically he comes in on a Thursday and leaves out on a Sunday morning or a Saturday night, or he'll come in on Friday and leave on Sunday. So I actually get a little extra time, but it's still every second of that time is taken up by something. I don't stop from the time he comes home until the time he leaves. I might take a nap, but I don't actually get to sleep. Oh, my necklace? I got that. Oh, your necklace. Okay. If you guys don't know, Trish is actually the owner of Mashika Creations. And Mel bought a necklace from her. Vixie's bought a necklace from her. I have new plugs from her, and this necklace is from her. I've got a couple of different items from her. Her link is in the description below. And if you use the earphone warning, if you use the code Cherry Pop, all big words or all big letters, you get 20% off. But there's a lot of people in the world who don't understand what it takes to be a trucker spouse. They think it's just that we sit around and we do nothing. If I did nothing, nothing would get done. And then Justin would come home and be pissed off that nothing is done, even though he tells me all the time, you don't have to do that. I know I don't have to do that. I'm doing it because it needs to be done, and because I want to get it done so that when you get home, you can relax because you've just worked 70 plus hours this week. So, I mean, we do the things that we do for our drivers because we love our drivers. Sorry, let me turn that down a little bit. It does take a very special person. It takes a very honest and open and blunt person, somebody who is very motivated. We all have to. And there are days where we don't have motivation whatsoever. Okay. And Jelly Bean is here, guys, so we're going to go ahead and bring her up. Your brother is a trucker and his wife is a superhero. That's awesome, Trish. Jelly Bean!
I finally made it!
Your screen's black. Turn your camera on, dummy.
It is on.
Why do we have... I can't see you.
I can see myself.
Well, maybe it's just my pooter.
Maybe
Hold on.
it's your pooter.
Maybe it's my pooter. Maybe it's StreamYard. Not every woman or man is cut out to be... Exactly. Not every woman. It's much like... We can relate to oil field wives. We can relate to railroad wives or spouses. We can relate to military spouses. We can relate to anybody's spouses. Yeah, it is black. Okay, so it's not just me.
Well, I've got it on, I promise.
Weird. What did check your settings? I don't know. Oh, wait. We had you. Now we lost you. You're still here, though. Turn your Wi-Fi off, Jelly Bean. That's what Dane said.
I did.
It's okay. We all can't see her, but we can hear her. Okay, guys? So until we can figure out why we can't see her.
I turned the camera off. I turned it back on.
See, the funny thing is when you turn it off, we get your picture, like we get your profile picture for StreamYard.
Okay, well then I'll just turn it off then, and I won't have to worry with it anymore. Y'all can see what I look like because I look rough.
That's okay. That's another thing is we don't always look glamorous.
I had plans to be, but
okay.
The folks at Michael's had other plans.
Well, that's a whole other discussion for a whole other story. That's another thing that we have to do. We are the ones in charge of everything when our drivers are not home. Like if we have an emergency or we have something that we have to go return, we have to do that ourselves. We don't have anybody to depend on. We have to do it. Hi, Chrissy.
Amen.
We're the ones, like I was, Jelly Bean, I don't know how much of the beginning of the show that you've caught, but like I said, we're the ones who have to make sure that we have all the groceries that we need. And you have a different situation because you do actually have a driver's license where I don't. So I have to make sure that everything I get done is done when Justin is home. You have the opportunity, even though scheduling may be difficult, to where if you need to go do something, you can go out there and do it. And that was my choice, by the way. That was my choice that I surrendered my license just because it was an anxiety issue. But that's neither here nor there. So we just do things a little bit differently than most people do. And Dane says that you're still beautiful to him. He's going to tell you that every day because he thinks you're the most beautiful thing in the world. Just accept it.
Me.
You're telling me that you don't look at him and go, he's the most handsome guy ever.
Just because
next to Ryan Reynolds. Where's Jimmy?
His face is absolutely nothing like mine. So just because he's pretty doesn't mean I am pretty. So
no. But in his eyes, in his eyes, you are pretty.
Well, I'm glad that his eyes see something that mine don't. But that's neither here nor there.
That actually is all here and all there.
No, it's not.
Listen, lady, we're going to talk about your self-confidence one of these days because I am in that same boat. I like when I was doing my makeup today, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go all green. I hate fucking green. It looks like shit on me, but I'm wearing a camo shirt. So fuck it. We're going to do it. And I don't think I look horrible today. I don't think I look the best though, but you know, I had to do something with my face.
I wanted to do something with my face, but I thought while I was standing in Michael's that the clock on my phone said 7:29, and turns out
you're welcome, baby.
Dane was on the phone with me and he was like, it's actually 7:49, and I was like, no, it's not. He's like, yes, it is. And then I found out that it was a screenshot that he had sent me that took up my whole screen.
Oh no!
So I thought I had more time than I did.
That's okay.
So that's why I'm late. My phone was being weird.
But Jelly Bean can attest to the things like that. We have rescheduled birthdays, anniversaries, events, weddings, everything. You name a holiday, we have rescheduled it for the simple fact of our truckers may not be able to be here, and we want them to be here for that.
That's right.
Yeah, be nice to my friend, Jelly Bean. It's not nice to not be you gotta be nice to my friends. I think that can be an issue for any job that is time consuming. I don't drive and I have to wait until Sunday. Okay. So basically it's the same kind of boat that we're in where we have to rely on other people and we have to wait for their schedules to open up for us to be able to do things. And not every trucker spouse has this issue. Like I said, I surrendered my license just because of my own mental health issues. And granted, I live in a town where everything is a mile away. Like if I need anything right now and the town has it, it's available to me. But otherwise it's Amazon or I wait until my trucker comes in.
The difference is, though, between a regular standard 9 to 5 job and a trucker's job is the fact that my trucker, while his job may be that he is gone overnight, sometimes he's gone from Monday through Friday, sometimes he's only gone during that day if they're doing local work. When you go to your 9 to 5 job, you know when you get up in the morning, you're going to work, and you know what time you're getting off work and going home.
Right.
Truckers don't have that luxury, and their families don't either.
No, like typically on a day where I jump on the truck with Justin, they have a 14-hour clock. They have 11 hours to drive. So it gets a little confusing unless you actually like do the research.
Amen.
But I know on a typical basis, if I get on that truck, Justin and I are not coming home for at least 16 hours. At least 16 hours. We're going to be on that long. Because you've got to do pre-trip, you've got to make sure that your cargo is secured, regardless if it's flatbed, reefer, dry van, heavy haul, cattle haul, animal haul, whatever it is. You have to make sure that your load is secured, so that takes a while. You've got to make sure that you've got everything set up for your day, and then you've got to go do your day. And
see, in my husband's form of trucking, he's got to, depending on the size of his load, if he's oversized, he has to make sure of each state that he's in. Certain states, if you're oversized, you can't drive at night after dark.
Actually, I think that's all states.
Until the morning. There's certain states, because he was
every
telling me
state
about
that
this
Justin's
earlier.
ever driven in, as far as I know, like it's a 30 minutes before sunset, 30 minutes after sunrise or after sunset, yeah. But they can only drive during restricted hours, and they have to have special permits to go into each state as well.
Honey, was it Maryland or New Jersey that you told me earlier that being oversized, you can drive whenever you need to? Yeah, Maryland, 24/7. So it depends on what state you're in and what their regulations are. Like in Florida, even if he is not loaded, he has to have a permit just to drive in Florida. So you've got to make sure that you've got your escorts, and your escorts are ready to go. That was an issue he had earlier today, because boss lady wanted to lie. I don't know why, but she wanted to lie and say that she had told the escorts what time to be there, and that the escort had talked to her. Well, when he talked to the escort was like, this is the first I'm hearing of it. I didn't even know I had a job to do today.
So there was a communication issue, which can also impede in their time on their day. We're talking about being a trucker spouse today, whether it's a trucker wife, trucker girlfriend, a trucker boyfriend, or a trucker husband. Well, hold on. Some have 30 minutes before and after. Some are strict sunrise. I just go by what Justin tells me. And another thing that I want to get into is the kinds of trucker wives that we have out there as well. Texas has a 14-hour per driver with 8 hours of rest. See, it varies from state to state. It also depends on what DOT says, because most states support the 14 hours of being on the clock with 11 hours to drive and a 10-hour break. So that makes your 24 hours. But back to the different kinds of wives that we have. We have everyday normal wives. We have wives that absolutely think that they know it all, are an absolute dependas, to steal a military term, because, they think that they drive the truck and they need to speak to the company, and they're very Karen-like. And those are not the wives that I associate with, because I am not that wife. I've never once stepped in an office and told Justin's higher ups how he's going to drive, what he's going to drive, what kind of loads he's going to take, blah, blah, blah. I don't do that. That's not my business. My business is to make sure that he is okay and that he is comfortable, and that if he needs help, that I'm there if I can help.
I get that way sometimes, though.
Oh, don't trust and believe. There have been times where I have been like, I'm going to walk in that fucking office and I'm going to snatch a bitch and I'm going to beat them in the parking lot if they don't knock their shit off. Wholeheartedly.
It doesn't help that his yard is like an hour away from home, and they want to be buttheads sometimes. And I'm just like, do I need to go up there and talk to Jason myself? Do I need to go up there? Because I will. I will go up there.
Right. I will wholeheartedly show the fuck up and snatch a bitch. Plain and simple.
But it takes a lot to get me to that point, too.
Right. Right. I've been there quite a few times, and it's been issues with dispatch. It's been issues with safety. It's been a lot of issues with dispatch.
Yes.
If your driver does not have a good fucking dispatcher, everybody's life is hell. Everybody's.
His dispatcher changes like his draws because one minute it's Jason's giving him a load, 1 minute it's Stuart, 1 minute it's Brody. Stuart's over everybody. And then you've got this new guy that came on. Look, this was so funny. I got to tell you this. Remember when I told you he was broke down when his transmission went out? Yeah. This new guy calls him up, right? And is like, hey, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Matt, and I wanted to give you your load information for your load for tomorrow. Uh-huh. And all of a sudden, Kyle's in the background. I think he said it was Kyle. And he was like, no, you're not, because he's broke down.
By the way, just so you know, your dispatchers are not supposed to put your ETAs in for you. That's the driver's job. Found that out.
And whenever they give you an ETA, always add like 2 hours. If they say they're going to be home at 5, just plan on 7.
Plan on 8 or 9. More like it.
Yeah. I was on more of the conservative side.
Right. Justin's he's got to the point where he'll tell me, instead of what time he'll be home, he'll tell me what time he'll be in the town that he parks the truck in, because he parks the truck at the company yard. So he'll tell me, I'll be in Salina at such and such time. And I'm like, okay, so I'll add a couple extra hours to that, because it gives me that leeway of knowing, okay, he's not going to be on time, because it's like part of our world. We are never on time for anything, ever.
If your husband is ever home on time and he's a truck driver, somebody's died.
Right.
Like, and it's bad.
As sad as that statement is, we've actually had that happen to us. Justin's best friend passed away 3 years ago next month. And he was on his way home when he found out. And he called his dispatch and he says, I'm taking some time off. I just had a family member pass. I will let you know when I'm available. And his dispatcher was like, not a problem, because he works for, I'm never going to tell you guys openly on this forum what company he works for. That's
nobody's business.
That isn't. And on top of that, I don't need the company saying that I'm slandering their name when I'm not slandering their name. You know what I mean?
Profession.
Right. Well, I'm not even slandering their profession. Well, I mean, it comes with its ups and its downs. I could talk shit about every profession.
True that.
But
give me 5 minutes and Google. I can give you some downsides to everything.
Right. But our side of it, drivers will talk to other drivers and they can vent to those other drivers and they can relate to those other drivers. But us as spouses, we hear about it so often, and we have to be supportive even when there's times where we've heard the same story 10 fucking times. We're like, I'm so sorry. I wish I could help. You know, I'm sorry that things end up like this. I'm sorry that the company that you're picking up your load home for won't load you for 10 hours and you have to sit there until tomorrow. I wish I could change that for you, but I can't. However, we're gonna essentially suck it up, and we're gonna just make what we can of it, and we're gonna keep going forward. Now, I'm not saying that I tell my driver to suck it up and to move on. I tell him in a supportive manner that it's a shitty situation and I wish I could help. But
I just get right mad with him.
Right.
I just start arguing with him. Well, can't they do this? Well, has anybody thought to do that?
Right. Like the other day, Justin was on his way home and he told me about what his load for this week was. And we were on a show and I texted him back. He said, I'm going to Nebraska and on Iowa. Now for him, that's a short load. I was like, that's a shitload. You're going to be home by like Tuesday. He's like, yeah, I know. Well, we anticipated because of that him going out for a second run this week, so he more than likely will, which won't put him home till Saturday. So he's going to be out from Sunday until Saturday, which is very untypical, which puts him back out like Tuesday, which is going to piss him off because it's just going to fuck up his whole schedule for the whole week. And does it piss me off? Yes. Yes, it pisses me off because he's pissed off. Is there anything I can do about it? Not a goddamn thing. But I'm still going to love him.
Dane says, suck it up, ham hock. Put your big boy britches on.
He does every motherfucking day. I watch him when he gets home. But
And see, we also end up with, I know you were talking about them griping and bitching about, you know, the stuff that happens, and we hear the same stories.
yeah,
But what they don't also realize, and a lot of people I don't think realize, is we also suffer traumatic stress from some of the things that happen to them, because we never know what's going to happen to them while they're gone. We don't know that they're going to make it home.
Every trucker spouse I've ever come across has had the same dream, and it's the death of their driver in their fucking truck. It's a recurring fucking nightmare.
Mine was a living nightmare, because I was literally on the phone when his trailer caught fire, and I heard the tires blow while I was on the phone. He's like, I got to get off here. I got to call 911. I was shaking like a rattlesnake, just freaking out. I called my mom. I was like, I don't know what you can do to help me, but I'm shaking, crying, like, just talk to me, because...
like when Dane lost his trailer tire and it just randomly ran off to nowhere.
Now, that shit was funny.
Did you ever find that tire, by the way?
No, but every time we see one on the side of the road, we point out, hey, I found your tire. Somebody found it.
Well, and another thing is every time, and it doesn't matter whether you like the driver or the spouse or not, anytime the industry loses a driver to a health issue or they pass on,
that's a brother that's gone.
Exactly. That's another family member that's gone. That's a lot that every single one of us mourn, because we are a part of this industry, because it could have been one of ours. It could have been ours. Exactly. God forbid anything happen to any of my drivers. And when I refer to my drivers, I'm not just talking about Justin. I'm talking about Dane. I'm talking about any of the truck drivers out there that I speak to on a regular basis, because those are my drivers. Those are my family. Those are the people that I invest my time in. And if I was to lose one of them, my heart would not only break for myself, for them, for their family, for their friends, for everybody. So when we lose one driver, the entire industry feels it. You lost a brother yesterday. I'm so sorry to hear that, Dane. Hi, Kira.
He passed away from COVID.
And that's another thing. Our drivers are out there. There were companies that weren't giving PPE out, so we were having to do that from home, trying to make sure that they had everything that they needed out for their next load.
We were giving out snacks, wet wipes, all that stuff.
Yes. And the country's just sitting back like, oh, well, that's what they're supposed to do. No, bitch, that's not what they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to put their life in any more fucking threat than they already have. But yet you want to bitch because you can't go to Walmart and buy your fucking toilet paper because your asshole neighbor hoards it? Not my problem.
What about the driver that was exposed to COVID because he was trying to haul your damn toilet paper for you to wipe your ass with?
Right.
You better say goodbye to your tube socks.
Right.
Just throw them bitches in the trash.
Say bye to your Twinkies that you wanted so desperately at the fucking store. Jimmy says, hashtag I blame Cherry sometimes. Well, sometimes it is my fault and that's okay. But
I blame Cherry for a lot of things.
Yeah. Apparently a lot of people blame me for stuff and I wasn't even aware of it. I was like, oh shit. But
Why is your wallet empty? Why is your bank account empty?
Cherry.
Cherry did it.
I
thought she gave you money. Yeah, but the stuff I needed costed more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's supposed to make me more money in the long run.
Cherry, fuck around. Cherry has a fascination with rolling pins, and she really wanted a marble one, so we're gonna send her one. That just took money out of my pocket. But Cherry got a rolling pin. Now, mind you, I am absolutely avidly open to supporting small businesses. Okay, Jellybean runs a small business, so do I. Jellybeans and Dane order a lot from me, so I spoil them a little bit. And when I have the funds, I absolutely spoil them as much as I can. So, I mean, it's a two-way street. Now, am I partial to going to a trucker spouse small business? Absolutely. Because I'm helping support that family. It's not just about the small business. It's about the fact that it's a truck family.
I can't help it. Anytime I see a rolling pin or something with cherries on it, look, my kids have even started doing it. Yep. I saw something the other day that had cherries on it. Yeah. And they were like, oh, it was a pair of shoes because we were trying to get Dane a pair of work boots. Mm-hmm. And they were like, I wonder if Mama Cherry has these. Do you know what size shoes she wears? And I was like, I think Mama Cherry can buy her own shoes.
She wears a 7. 7. I have a pair of Crocs that are covered in cherries, by the way.
I think these were Vans.
Oh, that's fine too. I'll wear them. I promise. I love free shit just as much as the next person.
I know that's right. But yeah,
James says it doesn't
if I
bother
see
us
a
one bit. You do
if I see a rolling pin, it's like I wonder if Mama Cherry's got one of those.
And if not, Mama Cherry will go, no, I don't.
Or we just send it anyway.
Right. And I absolutely love I love you guys. I literally cannot wait to find a time to be able to sit down and figure out a midpoint for all of us to just meet up and just have a good time. Because I've had the opportunity to meet up with
that would be the day the world just collapses on itself.
Right. That'll
because
be
putting me, you, Justin, and Dane together anywhere.
There'll be so much bacon and so much food. Just everything.
Oh my God,
everywhere.
the bacon. I'm gonna bring shrimp just for ham hock.
Cook it outside.
Just because it drives you nuts. I'm gonna bring bacon wrapped shrimp just for Justin. Be like, here you go, hon.
Dane says Jellybean has her business and he has his, and that's true. There is a small business. this is Planet Flipside is a small business.
Small business.
It absolutely is. That's why I'm going to tell you guys we have links below, and we also have a disclaimer below. Your dumbass needs to read that before you get offended, because if you don't, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Anyway, we got a bunch of links below since we're a little over the midway point, and I forgot to talk about this a minute ago. We've got links for things like the Planet Flipside merch site, so that you guys can go buy merch for us and support the channel, because everything from the merch site actually ends up coming in and helps support the channel so we can keep doing this for you guys. We've got the Discord at the very, very bottom for Vixie Squad and Planet Flipside, so you can get all the background information, that you guys can get the food porn, you can guys get all the insider track on that. We've got Doll's House Etsy shop, and if you do anything on that site, and you're not going to buy anything, but you want to go look, read the fucking description, because you guys are fucking hilarious. We've got kenderlash.com, which is where I got my fox earrings. These are really awesome, by the way. She does wearable art. She also did these, I've shown them 100 times, but these skull earrings that I bought, she made those as well. We've got, Trish is actually in our audience tonight, and she is from Mashika Creations. She's the owner. She's done things, she does resin art, and she's got some stuff that she's putting in on the loot box when we hit 500 subscribers and we start our giveaway. So you guys bring people in so we can get on that and you guys can see what's inside the box, because I'm not showing anybody else. If you want to see what was in that one and Trisha's box, you're going to have to go a couple shows back and check it out. I've actually met Dolls Myrtle as well in person, and she's an adorable human being. Any other links that I'm missing? We've got all of our socials down there. I think that's everything. But back to the subject at hand. Is it easy being a trucker spouse? Fuck no. Fuck no. Come do what I do for a day. Go do what Jellybean does for a day. Go do what Kira does for a day. Seriously. Come take over our lives for a day and see how stressed out you're going to be.
Especially raising 3 kids in 3 different schools.
Right. I have one, and he's in football, so, we've got sports going on, and we've got him being a teenager, and it gets hectic. Like, when Dad's home, he wants to go to the home games, and sometimes we don't have time because we've got to get shit done, but we try to make the effort to get to the game. We actually made a family event out of it last week. We had Dad and me and 2 of the cousins and the aunt and the grandma all showed up for the football game.
That was like our weekend. We were at volleyball for 2 games in a row, back to back.
Yep. All of our kids want they want the other parent involved, and they can be involved. A trucker can be involved in their child's life. It's just not as easy because they're out on the road. And I'm not
They have to do it their own way.
Right. Whether it's through a phone or whether it's the ability to do it in person. Our son is very understanding in the fact that his dad is on the road as much as he is, and doesn't get upset when Dad misses home games, because he understands. He knows Dad's doing what Dad's got to do to support the family. And that's what it boils down to, is us as spouses have to support. And it's not even so much that we have to, it's we choose to support our drivers for doing what they do, because we understand and appreciate them for everything that they do. That's why you will literally see me stop drivers in a store and usually I typically approach them and I say, hey, are you a driver? And they'll tell me yes or no. And if they are, I thank them for what they do. And I thank them and I tell them, and thank your family for us too. Because your families are just as important. Your trucker had to pick up your daughter from school today. Well, that's awesome. He had the opportunity to do that. People take that for granted because truck drivers don't get to do that every day. Anybody who's in an industry where they're not home every night appreciates that because they are not able to do that on a regular basis because they're out there doing what they need to do for their family.
I know my kids get upset, especially one of them when she comes home off the bus on Friday, especially. Mm-hmm. And if he's not home before she has to leave to go to her dad's house, ooh, she gets mad.
Right?
She gets so mad. She's like, why is he not home yet? But if she sees him and he's sitting at the house, like, he gets hugs before I do.
Uh-huh.
So.
And it's not because she loves him anymore. It's just she doesn't get to see him as much.
I think she secretly loves him more. She just won't say it out loud.
Well, you know, every kid picks their favorite.
She gets tired of me all week.
Hi, Dan. So. And
it's also hard when, like, bad stuff happens, too. Like, when I got shot with a rock last week, Dane was supposed to be coming home, but because, and I mean, he was an hour away. He was at the yard, and they wouldn't let him come home because he was helping somebody at the shop. They were working on a trailer, the one that burned up, actually.
Yeah.
So, I mean, luckily it wasn't something that required me going to a hospital or whatever.
Right.
I mean, looking at it now, you'd probably be like, why didn't you go to a hospital? But
there's a lot of things that we put off ourselves as spouses because we know everything else needs to get taken care of. A lot of us have health issues because we're too busy doing what needs to get done, and we don't have the opportunity to take care of ourselves because we're taking care of everything else. I know I've done it. I wholeheartedly have done it before, and I get yelled at for it all. Well, he doesn't yell at me. He's only ever raised his voice to me one time, but he does tell me that, you know, you need to take care of yourself. Yeah, I know. I'll do it when I'm dead. I'm sorry, you missed that. You were buttering your goldfish. What did I do? What did we do?
How do you butter a goldfish?
You've never heard that? It's a you need to do what you did because we were distracted and didn't catch it the first time. It's a thing on TikTok. You're doing something completely random. Can you do that? Like I was watering my ceiling. Can you do that again?
Oh yeah. Oh, I know that, but I was just trying to figure out genuinely, how do you butter a goldfish?
Well, you got to take it out.
Wait, is it the swimming goldfish or is it the crackers?
That's a good point. That is a good point. Brittany says, yeah, sometimes she has to travel because her husband is a welder. So our main goal at the end of we have one who our teenager has 2 more years until graduation. He is in his junior year of high school. So instead of him leaving home when he is old enough to do so, I'm leaving after he graduates. I'm going on the road full time for however long I want with my trucker. That has been our goal for a very long time. And I am trying very hard to keep that goal. Like I legitimately have sacrificed things specifically for that goal. Because our kids understand that their drivers are out there, and we essentially become both parents. Waxing your ceiling. Holy shit. You were brushing your lawn? I've done that. I was vacuuming my yard at one point. I mean, that's a whole other story, though.
That's to make your neighbors think you're crazy, so they'll leave you alone.
Well, and it doesn't help there were drugs involved, but that's another story.
Oh, God. We need to have a conversation.
I got super elevated one day, and, you know, I thought that, well, I was super elevated. I thought that the yard was shag carpet. What do you want from me, okay?
I'm going to start using that. Super elevated. Now, I have those days sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes you get super elevated and decide to go to Cracker Barrel and eat your weight in biscuits.
Hey, if it's good.
Why not, right?
So, yeah, I mean, our drivers have very, very stressful lives, and we are essentially their venting. Their venting pot. They vent to us about pretty much everything. Have a good night, Kira. Out of the dog. I was walking your house. Shit, Frost, I'm sorry. Still trying to figure out what the fuck I did, but you know, maybe we'll figure it out later.
Well, we'll find out.
Right?
It all comes out in the wash.
Right? It is, as Justin would say, it'll be all right.
Drop it in the butter tub.
Real goldfish. You just dropped it in. Oh, that's gross.
It has to be real butter though. You can't use none of that margarine shit.
No, because it don't stick right. But another thing that trucker spouses do is, much like Jellybean and I do, we vent to each other as well. Like we have a whole support system. So
Carrie is my support system.
Quite often, actually. And I'm not mad about it at all because I understand her frustration. I can't feel what another person is feeling, but I can relate to those feelings because you can say that you know exactly how somebody feels, but you don't because you don't live in that person's brain. However, I can relate to pretty much everything that Jellybean goes through on a daily because I live the same essential life. We both are driver spouses, so we know. Now, granted, we may not know exact DOT regulations, but we've got access to the big green book so we can find it out. By the way, did you know that there's a PDF version of that?
No.
You can download the big green book for DOT online now.
I don't even need the book. I've got my husband.
Right. That's usually what happens is I call Justin, hey, what's the reg on this? Why don't you just look it up? Because I have you, much like last night when he was playing Minecraft. Hey, can you tell me how to you have Google. Why are you asking me? Because I have you right here. But
no, it's mostly because my husband knows everything.
Oh, okay. Well, mine has a copy of DOT regs on the truck because they have to have it on the truck with them. But if
it's sad when you're standing in Michael's and you're on the phone with your husband who's just parked and it's like, hey, I need you to Google up this stuff for me because the people in Michael's have no idea.
Right.
Like there's nobody that works here that can tell me if this machine is going to do what I need it to do.
Dane, apparently, in her world, you know everything. So you are Google.
He is my Google.
Justin tells me the same thing. You're my Google. No, I'm not.
He's my GoDaddy.
He's your GoDaddy? He makes websites for you? Wow. And they only cost $10. That was not monetized, by the way.
No, he's just my, like, hey, Daddy, what's this?
Yeah. What does this do, Dad? Daddy.
Hey, Daddy, I need money.
Right. And that's another thing that people associate with us stay-at-home trucker spouses, that we just spend all the money. And a lot of us
basically do.
Well, here's the thing is this is how my house runs. Yes, I do control the bank account. My name is on that bank account. Justin is not home to pay those bills. And yes, most of ours are done on apps. And there are some times where I call them and I say, hey, the app won't let me in. I need you to pay it. I'm the one, comb the desert with a big comb, a big giant comb. I'm the one who pays the bills because I'm here to do it and I have access to it. I'm the one, if he's out on the road and he needs something and he can't get a cash advance, he calls and he says, can I do this? And I'm like, why are you asking me? Just fucking do it. But the point being is that's another responsibility that most of us as spouses carry, is the financial responsibility. Yes, they make the money, but yes, we spend it. Now, I don't spend every dime on every single one of us in this house, but I try to make it as equal as I possibly can. And sometimes somebody's needs are met before others. Like most of the time, Justin and Keegan's needs are met before mine are, because they need to be. Absolutely need to be. We gave the kid the last $20 we had in our pockets last weekend because he wanted to go to the races with his friends, and he doesn't get to do that kind of shit very often. So we gave him the last $20 that we had until next Friday so that he can go do what he wanted to do, because he has a very hectic schedule between football and between school and doesn't get to do things like that very often. So you do for your family what you need to do. And yes, we are the ones that spend the money, and they are the ones that make the money. But our bills are fucking paid. I'll be damned. I'll be damned if my bills ain't paid first. Now, we might have to rearrange those bills sometimes, because
throw the names in a hat and see who gets pulled out.
Right, because here's the thing: is yes, they're out there making money, but they are paid by a certain way, whether it's through a commission or through miles. But those miles are done with most companies from zip code to zip code. They don't get the actual mileage paid. So, like, say you drive 50 miles, but there's one zip code in between. You only get paid for the miles for the zip codes. And I may be wrong on that, depending on the company you work for.
I think we got lucky because he gets paid kind of like a salary.
Mm-hmm.
And every week he's guaranteed a certain amount that's what he's going to get paid, and that paycheck will never change. But every 4 weeks there is a bonus check that is based off of commission. So once the truck makes what it needs to break even, anything over that goes
driver
into
gets.
our
Right.
pocket.
Right. And there's companies out there that do that. Mine, he gets paid to pick up the load, drop the load, tarp the loads if they need to be tarped. He gets a safety bonus every 3 months, depending on the analytics of his truck. And then he gets his regular paycheck. And his paycheck fluctuates depending on his miles. So if he gets a shit week, we get a shit paycheck. But our bills are still paid regardless if we have to rearrange them around or not. I can guarantee
we've been there.
There's been plenty of times where I've had to send Verizon a message and like, so we're going to delay the payment for 2 weeks because right now we just don't have the money.
Been there.
The only bill that I don't have control of, and Justin has offered to give me control of it, is the truck payment, the pickup truck. That's his responsibility. I don't fuck with that.
I think the only bill that I'm not in charge of making sure it gets paid is the water bill. And even then I have to be like, yo, the water bill's due.
Right. No, I do the water, the gas, the electric, the rent, the cell phones, the internet, all of our bills except for the truck payment. And the truck insurance actually comes out automatically, so I don't fuck with that. But
and now it's car payment. Car payment and water is the only thing, and phone bill. He pays those.
Yeah.
But everything else like lights, groceries, making sure that the stuff is bought for the house, making sure the kids have what they need, all that shit falls in my lap.
Right. And Justin just said his second stop today, he was only paid for 22 miles. The actual mileage was 34, all because the route was zip code to zip code instead of actual miles. So they're out there busting their ass expecting to get paid for the actual miles when they're not getting paid for the actual miles. Now, granted, this man... Yes. Now, granted, this man has enough fucking PTO to take off a goddamn year. Legitimately. He's got close to a year worth of PTO saved up. And he might throw that in on his next check. Or he might not. I don't know what the fuck he's going to do with it. I don't know when he's ever going to fucking take all this time off. If he's going to take this time off. And I know at a certain point, they roll over, but they only do roll over for so long.
Oh, I was going to say, by the time that... that kid graduates from high school and it's time for you to go on the road, he can retire.
Right?
With all his PTO.
Right? Legit. I mean, he's been with the company for going on 4 years in November. And he's got enough saved up. He's got a little over 200 days. By the end of this year, he'll have probably a full ass year. So, yeah. And
I wish we got PTO. Honey, do we get PTO at all? Other than like your basic 1 week or whatever?
Well, the company that he works for, they changed vacation time to PTO because they threw in like you can take family emergency medical leave, but if you're taking leave after that, you use your PTO. He said yes. But
okay, good.
Another thing I wanted to touch back on is Jellybean was talking about when Dane's truck, when his trailer caught on fire, she was on the phone with him and her heart about fell out of her butt. PTO is vacation.
I think it did.
So, and this is the scary part of it. Okay. Justin called me 2.5, 3 years ago. It was very shortly after he started on with the company. And he was in Kentucky. And he wholeheartedly admits that the accident that he was in was his fault because he went over the yellow line a little bit too much. Now, I wholeheartedly think it was also the driver of the vehicle's fault because they were, come to find out, they had just retired out of a truck. So they know how to drive around semis, but needless. He called me. And he said, I'm okay, but I was involved in an accident. My heart fell out of my butt onto the floor, and I fell on the floor. I fell on my own damn heart that fell out of my butt. Because I was like, oh God, is everybody okay? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Everybody's fine. He literally, the rub rail just bent the mirror, and that was it. And that was one of the less traumatic accidents I've ever heard of. Because when you're trying to stop 80,000 pounds on a dime, deaths do happen.
Yep.
And that's why I am so avid about telling people who drive what we call four-wheelers, which are regular vehicles, cars, trucks, motorcycles, pickups, anything that is not a school bus or a semi, anything that is considered a normal vehicle. Why I am consistently telling them you need to be safer around semis, because you're not only putting your life in danger, you're putting that driver's life in danger. You're not only affecting your life and your family, you're affecting that driver, their company, their families. You're affecting there's a chain of people that you're affecting, and you need to understand that. And anytime I hear that a driver has been in an accident, I instantly just stop and make sure that everybody in the situation is okay. And if not, I find out all the information that I need to pass along. Because as a family in the trucking industry, we all want to send all the good vibes to anybody who has been involved in an accident, whether it's the driver or the people that were involved in the accident. It's a very big deal for all of us, even though we're still just the ones that are just at home. It affects everybody. And
I just want to say, like, for the truckers that are watching and listening, I know Justin led with "I'm okay," but y'all have no idea like how important those words are when you call somebody to tell them. Always lead with "I'm okay. Everybody's okay.
Yeah.
This happened." Never start off with "I was in a wreck.
Right.
My truck is on fire." Like, I know Dane couldn't help it. You know, I heard everything going on because I had to kind of reel myself in, because he was like, "Oh shit." And I'm like, "What's the matter?" And he was like, "My trailer's on fire." And he was trying to keep his voice like very calm. And I'm sitting here going, okay, that could be a number of things. Let's do a checklist. Like, do you see flames or do you just see smoke? Because brakes lock up, smoke happens, they get hot, they get overheated, hoses can come undone, stuff like that. And I'm going, "What do you see?" And he was like, "I see flames shooting out." And then I hear him get out the truck, and I'm like, "Get your fire extinguisher." And he was already on it. But yeah, just always.
Because we are essentially on the other end of the phone, and we're helpless because there's nothing that we can do at that point. We physically cannot do anything for them.
And see, being a very visual person, I'm sitting there trying to imagine what's going on, but your mind always goes to his truck is about to be engulfed in flames and something bad's going to happen.
He's going to lose everything. We're going to have to buy everything all over again. If there's a pet on the truck, oh God forbid that they lose another like a family member.
And see, I've seen so many times, even especially like recently, it was just so weird that I think it was a week or two prior, I had actually come across a video on TikTok where somebody was videoing from the side of the road, and there was a truck, I think it was a dump truck or something, had caught fire, and it started off like very small, like all you saw was smoke, you didn't see any flames, and then the next thing you know, before the fire truck or anybody could get there, the whole truck, the whole thing from nose to tail was just engulfed. And it was just like, oh God. And so I start freaking out, thinking, oh my God, the load is lost. Because he was hauling machinery and a box that I don't even remember what the heck was in it. And that's never a comforting feeling, because shit explodes, man.
Yes.
He had already got hit in the face when the tire exploded. Yes, Kyrie loves to give in her 2 cents when I'm talking and doing something important.
But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start our close to the show, guys, because it's getting to be about that time. And we only play around for an hour, so you guys can get to doing what you need to do and what we need to do. Jelly Bean, do you have any words that you would like to say before parting?
Always remember to hold on to your fork. And if you're going to stir the shit pot, be prepared to lick the spoon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You guys, don't forget to thank your truckers. Regardless if they're a perfect stranger, a family member, or a friend, just thank them for what they do, because what they do is very important, because without them, we would have nothing. Absolutely nothing. And we would live in colonial days all over again, which I'm not opposed to, but the trucker likes to have stuff, so... I
like electricity, personally.
Yeah, me too. we are off until Wednesday, where we have the makeup table and then family game night. Thursday, we have the makeup table and homespun magic. Friday, we have the makeup table, and I don't know if we're doing dollhouse or if we're going to do something else. You had a skid steer, grapple, and Connex box. Woo! Your dad drove a truck most of his life, and brother and sister. Well, thank them for me, and thank you for being a part of the family. But yeah, thank a trucker. Sorry, guys, my brain's farting. I got 15 things going on in my brain. I don't know what the fuck to pick right now. It's been one of them days. Saturday, Justin likes air conditioning. Justin likes air conditioning so much he tries to freeze me out, y'all. I'm just saying. Anyway.
You know, Justin, I like air conditioning too.
Saturday, we have the coffee show in the morning, and then we should have Bona Bones on for a Creator Corner Saturday night, and then Sunday we have coffee show in the morning, and as always, we have Bitches with Switches, and then Monday rolls right back around, and here we are with Cherry Rants again. You guys, thank you for coming out and talking with us and hearing us and letting us share our experiences with you, because we could go on for hours and hours.
And sometimes we do.
Yes, sometimes we do. Sometimes we go all night. But that's that. Anyway, as always, trolls taste like chicken, motherfuckers. Eat them bitches up. And love your fellow human.
I have to make that into a sticker.
You really do. And send it to me.
I will.
We actually have a shirt on the Planet Flipside marketplace. This is Trolls Taste Like Chicken. Thank you for being here, Frost. And as always, love your fellow human, even if they're stupid, unless they're the drunk neighbor. That's a whole ass other shit show for another day. Okay, guys, I love you. Bye. Hey, I'm Cherry Bomb Pop. You're watching Cherry Rants. And if there's something that I said that offended you, maybe your dumbass should have read the description below. Okay, bye.
Your mission, Cherry, should you choose to accept it, is to bring chaos to Planet Flipside on Monday nights. As always, should you or any part of the Bomb Pop force be caught or killed, the head of Ixie Squad will disavow any knowledge of your actions. This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
What's up, fuckers? Y'all, there's times I can't tell if I'm just in a bad mood or if everything around me is just really fucking annoying.
Tacos are more important than pumpkin spice. Oh yeah, I said what I said.
You can fuck off. And when you get there, you can fuck off from there too. Then fuck off some more. Just keep fucking off. And when you get back here, go fuck off some more. And then fuck off again. I judge those motherfuckers on if they're an asshole or not.